Okay, June the 10th, 2025, we're going to be changing out the Shift Solenoids filter and the manifold pressure switch in a 4L80E 2000 2500 express van. And we'll get under there. We drained the transmission fluid last night, so let's get under there, drop that pan. We'll be using a couple of different cameras. I don't know how good this video will end up, but we'll get under there. Then later on, we'll do a little update on that Frank's El Camino and what he's doing. I guess I need to tell you the symptoms I'm having. Now, I've been having them for a while. They won't go away. I changed the fluid not long ago, but I don't know if any of these parts are bad or not. Sometimes if it starts shifting hard, it won't go into overdrive. Sometimes it doesn't want to downshift properly. It'll get hung up in high gear, then you start to come up to a stop, it chugs and chugs, so you have to stick it up in neutral. Same thing for reverse sometime. I'm not getting any codes on the check engine lights, but from what I'm reading, this is the most likely to be the problem. We've got 3 of these solenoids. The kit showed 4, but I couldn't get the kit here until the 16th of June, and that's too late. So I know these 2 are, I don't know which solenoids, which shift solenoids they are, but well, I know they're the 1, 2, and the 2, 3, but I don't know which one's which. But they will only go back in one way, so we'll be okay with that. And that filter and the seal. This is a rebuilt Jasper transmission. The seal should be good. Of course, the whole thing should be good, huh? But anyway, that's the symptoms that we've been having with it, and we've been having it for a while. It's got about 70,000 miles on the Jasper rebuild, engine and rebuild, engine and transmission swap, rebuild swap. Okay, from watching other videos, we know we need a 10 millimeter for the pan bolts, and we need an 8 millimeter for that manifold pressure switch. Now look at there. Is that a lock or a connector? I think that's a lock. Where did that come from? Oh, me. It's not connected though, wherever it came from. Wonder if we can look at our other transmission up there and see. There's a bolt up there. There's a thing up there that's not connected either. I tell you, this shop, I'll never use that shop over there in Winder again either. I've named them a couple of times. I won't name them this time. Everything they touched, they messed up. Well, as you would have it, you already run into problems. I tell you what, Jasper, they are terrible. One of those bolts on the other side is almost rounded off. They put the thing in so tight that I can't get a socket on it very good. They must have rounded it some. They probably used a blooming torque wrench on them. There's no telling what the idiots did. Let's see if we can get a different 6-point, a short socket 6-point, and get it on there really tight and see if we can get it broke loose. We may not be changing the solenoids and all this stuff. Well, we're not going to be able to reuse the gasket. I don't guess. It's sort of come apart, but that's showing a thick gasket, but he's left a bunch of it up there. They had this thing too tight. There was another bolt that I just about could not get off. Looks like they used 2 gaskets. It looked like they used that little cheap rubber gasket on top of this big thick one, but I don't know. We got to get the Jeep running. That's the thing. I started to make sure I had the Jeep running before I did this, because we don't have anything to drive right now. Got to get the Jeep running before we could go get a good pan gasket, but the pan still has some fluid in it because that drain plug is not on the bottom. So it still has about a ½ an inch or so of fluid in it. We're going to let that drain some more. Try to get that filter off of it. Maybe take one of those bolts out of that pressure switch, manifold pressure switch, so that fluid will drain out. These solenoids that we'll be replacing are back here at the back, if we can do it. I tell you, I don't know. We'll see. Right there, they connect right there. You got 2 solenoids in there. From what I've seen online, that's the first and second, and the second, third shift. And then the one on the front that has that little retainer in, I think is supposed to be the downshift. But see, we have some knocks that sometimes not going into overdrive, and see, we didn't get that. I think that last one though was called some kind of motor, that from on the internet. So I don't know a thing about these transmissions. We're just shooting in the dark here. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put this video together and get it uploaded while we're waiting on that pan to finish draining. I'll clean it up, clean those bolts up over there, get that pan out and see what we got to do about a gasket. And while we're piddling around doing that kind of stuff, I may run up through the Jeep and see if I can't get that switch working where we can drive it anyway. Then deal with this. We'll see though. Let's go ahead and put this together and get it uploaded. Get those bolts cleaned up. And we'll drag that out, empty that pan, and put some oil absorbing cloths. That's just for that down here. And we went on and pulled that filter off. And we'll take a look at it and see what kind of junk is in the pan. And check that out. And we're letting these things catch any dripping. Well, the pan looks better than I thought it was going to. It doesn't look bad at all. You got some of this little stuff here. It's a little bit gritty, but it's not bad. Not any chunks of metal or anything in there. Fluid looks good, doesn't smell burnt. There's this black residue here on it. This transmission's got about 70,000 since they rebuilt it. But that gives me a little bit of hope that maybe it's just these solenoids, and getting those solenoids replaced and getting a good gasket on here where it won't leak will take care of our problem, hopefully. So let's see about getting this cleaned up and go from there. See about putting it back together and hopefully wrap this up.